Little update here on what's going on with the Goldwing. Putting the LED lights on. Right here are two plug and play flashers. They just came in today. They work. I'll put a link to where I got them from. I don't know who else sells them, but I did find them on a website that sells LED lights. And one handy thing about that particular website is they have a warehouse. I don't know how many warehouses they have, but I know they have one here in the St. Louis area where I live. It's not close to me. It's about 30 miles or so away. But I have been there before and know where they are. Anyway, I did put all the bulbs in. I got 1156s LEDs in my turn signals, and they're yellow. It's hard to pull this out, but there they are. And 1157s for the brake and tail lights that are red on both sides. And on that one goes on the bottom of the trunk, and then across the bottom of the back end here we have these here. 1157 goes in that one. You can see it's 1157 because it's got the two hot wires on the back of the plug and then the one ground. And that's a red one also. And I've found out, I've been doing some research, and I found out that it's really by far best to go with the colored bulb that's going to be inside the housing or the reflector. So you put the red ones, you get the red LEDs to go in these, and the yellow ones to go in these. And of course white ones will go in the white ones. Now this is a piece of trim that goes on the bottom of these side boxes, these bags they call them. And the stock I think comes with just a reflector, but this is an add-on that has light bulbs in it. I've got one on the workbench over there, I'll show you in a minute. I've already put the LEDs in here. Had to open it up, it was a little bit tricky. We'll go ahead and fire this up. I mean, I'm not going to start the motor up because I don't have the exhaust hoses outside, and I'll just turn the key on. And I have not done the LEDs in the front yet. I'll do that after I'm done with everything else. I bought LED lights to put in the turn signals here, and these little lights here, whatever they call those. And the headlights, I have not bought headlight LEDs yet. I'm still looking into finding out where I'm going to get those from. But as you can see, those lights down here are on. The camera's not showing them nearly as red as they are. They're a lot more red than what the camera's showing. I can see that by looking in the viewfinder on the camera. Got all my LEDs in here. And once again, you cannot see. This is almost the same amount of light going all the way across what I'm looking at with my eyes, but the camera shows this one a lot more intense. And I'm going to show something I found here. The bulbs that go inside the center here, the center of this trunk light, these bulbs are a special size, and the LED replacements fit. But these are the same replacements that go in those and in dashboards and whatnot, and they're called 74 is the size, and the base, it's a wedge base, and it's a T5 wedge base. This one is a T4, a T2 wedge base, and it's a 24 bulb, but they don't have an LED to fit that. Well, these same ones that fit down here, and I'll show them separate over there on the workbench, they fit. They're not quite too wide. Otherwise they would be too wide to go in here, because the glass ones, the originals, the ones that go in those down there will not fit in these. But the LEDs do fit in there. Let me turn the turn signals on and the brake lights so you can watch them, because they do work. And they're not hyper flashing, they're flashing at the right speed, which it would not do that with the original flashers. And the brake lights, there's plenty of difference in light. And we got one on the floor down there too. So that is all working good. In the middle of the trunk, where those smaller bulb was that I told you about, that's this darkened one here, one that's about to burn out. And the base, I don't know if you can see it on the camera or not, but the wedge base on it is narrower than the standard 74 bulb that goes in there. And so the 74 bulb would not fit in that hole, but the new LEDs do fit in the hole because they are smaller like this is. So I did not have to, I was not able to find a 24, which is what this is, replacement in LED, but the 74 replacement, which is this one, does fit. And it looks just like the standard 194 that was always in the dashboards and corner lights on cars forever, up until recent years when we started getting into these smaller things. And so that's your standard 194, and it looks identical to this except for the size. It's half the size. I also bought a bag. I got these through Amazon for a good price, and these are pretty bright, of 194 replacements. And these they got lights on all sides and across the tip, and they're pretty bright. And I got a couple of them. I got one in the license plate light, and I got them on a couple of side markers in the front, places to put those. And I got extras that I can stick on my truck, or a lot of places I can put them. So much for those light bulbs. Now I'm going to go ahead and change had to turn the camera off for a minute because I misplaced these. These are those replacements of those small bulbs. The ones that you saw lit up on the bike. Now I can't just plug these in right now because this thing has to be plugged in. These are polarity sensitive. So you got to put it in, and if it doesn't light, you got to turn it around and put it in again. This has to be plugged in and turned on. And another thing I noticed was that these sockets were just a little bit sloppy. So I took my pliers and I just kind of squeezed it a little bit. They're soft plastic. I squeezed it a little bit. Where it is, it's glued in there. I didn't unglue it, just to get a better fit, and it worked. But like I said, that's a nice snug fit now, but these are polarity sensitive, so if that's not in there right, I have to pull it out and turn it around. And here's another thing on these. They don't sell these yet with LED lights in them. So you got to go to a place and buy them like that. Buy the bulbs and like this and put them in there. I'll try to remember to put a link up with this video, but here's the name of the place right there above the barcode. superbrightleds.com. And this particular bag has the bulbs that I'm putting in right here, these 74. That's the number to these. But they've got a number of this same size on their website for different uses. And these are the red ones, and they come white, they come blue, green, and they come with point in one direction. They come spread out, point in different directions, or a light on each side. They're all different. This has a real hard, tough silicone glue in about 3 or 4. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's about 6, and then one on each end. So there's about 8 places where they put that glue, and I had to very carefully work this. It also has little snap lock tabs on it, but I had to really work this thing carefully with a screwdriver to break it loose and get it opened up without breaking this. This one is kind of damaged a little bit. I'm still going to use it because I'm getting into some pretty serious money on this project. And so I'm going to go ahead and use that because this is an easy part to get to a year or 2 down the road. I don't have to take the bike apart to get this off and replace it. Now the ones that go on the side of the trunk, these go on the bottom of the saddlebag, those long ones. The ones on the side of the trunk are these they only have 3 lights, and these just pull right out of there and put your bulb in that. And the same thing, it's still got to be plugged in and turned on because your polarity, they only light up being plugged in one direction. For someone who doesn't watch my videos and they just found this one, I know this bike looks a mess, and that's because I'm in the process of doing a whole lot of work. It's January, it's winter time outside, and I got it in here. I'm painting it and doing a bunch of work, and I just changed all my lights over to LED. Got the headlights in, turn signals in, all my tail lights and extra lights, brake lights, everything, and everything's working. You can see that blue color. Got my new running lights in here, and well, I don't know how much color you can see on the video, but that is my new headlights. Let's see the high beam here. Of course, we can't take it outside and show you what it looks like out there. There's my tail lights. I just kind of stuck things on momentarily just to add this little piece of video on. So there's all my tail lights, the tail lights that go in the bottom of the trunk, on the sides here, and there's your brake lights. See if we can see a brake light over here in the back. And turn signals. You can see that's LEDs because they're not cooling down. They don't take time to cool down like incandescents do. Instant on and off. And they're not flashing fast. They're not flashing fast because of these new flashers that I got that are just plug and play. Just plug them right in, and I'll put the website that I found these on. I don't know how many people are making them and who all is selling them, but I had trouble finding them, and I really do have some hours tied up in hunting this stuff down, so I don't think they're that readily available yet, but I will put the website up. Cannot say anything about longevity at this point. We'll have to wait a while to find out about that. So yeah, the bike's a mess because I'm in the process of painting it, and I've got parts scattered all over the place that are getting cleaned up and ready to paint. Well, there it is, all painted up. All the LED lights are changed, and let me show the LEDs. Look at the videos I made painting this thing, and some plastic welding and different things like that. Alright, thanks for watching.